What is up, guys? Riley here, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a review on a truck we don't have much on this channel. So, if you're wondering what truck I'm talking about, it's this truck. I have a few videos on it, just like a sneak peek video and a stage 1 build. I think that's about it. We don't really have much on this truck. It's got a ton of upgrades that none of y'all have seen other than in the past video of us going to Bell's Isle. But y'all haven't seen this truck, and it's a good video, hopefully. And I'm just going to be doing a little bit of a review on it and just show you all the things that we've done to it, because we were upgrading it and I was videoing and I lost track. So I wasn't able to get any videos in. But other than that, we'll go ahead and look into the truck. Okay, so from an outside appearance standpoint, at first we had high axes on this, and we switched over to some mudslingers, RC 4-wheel drive mudslingers, and we are running these backwards so that the V goes that way instead of this way. So far we found that they're better ran that way, and usually, from what I know, that's how they run them in real life, is a lot of people run these backwards like this. The second appearance standpoint, whatever upgrade, is the wheels and the hub. So that's a Mofo Fox, whatever, 4x4 hub. It's just kind of give it a classic look, or an older look, just whatever. And then we have some 47 gram Endura brass speed locks. I think they're so far the heaviest wheel. I don't know exactly. I'm sure that when you put the island spacers and whatever on some UDPs by Mofo, they're probably going to end up being the heaviest. But, so we've got those, so we've done all the wheels. The second thing is, on the roof rack we have actual lights. So these are also by Endura. Now it does have little clear pieces so that these don't pop out, but my brother wasn't able to get those in. But this is my older brother's truck, just to let y'all know. One thing is, he does not want to trim the body, no matter what. I cannot convince him to trim the body. Also, he won't take the bumper off. So sometimes we run into a little bit of clearance issues, but it's okay. So, if we open the hood here, it is Velcro, because this also, along with the Jeep and the blue C10, has an Endura LCG chassis, carbon fiber. So it's Velcroed, and it's kind of a mess. So I've been working on getting this cleaner lately. My brother doesn't know it, he hasn't been home. But I've been working on getting it a little bit cleaner so it doesn't look as messy. That's one thing you're always going to run into when you're upgrading like this, because this is just electronics above electronics. It's crazy. But for starters, I'll go with something kind of simple. So the battery, I'll take the battery strap off. But the battery is a 800 milliamp hour Spectrum 3S battery. It's a 50 cell, which is right there. I think that's what that means. Not too sure. And this actually comes with this adapter. So you're going to have to get an adapter plug, which that's what that is. Unless you switch your plug over on the ESC/receiver. So ESC/receiver. since I said that, we'll move to that. So I'm gonna set that there. So we actually have a Lizard Pro with the Bluetooth hooked up to it. So that allows us to run a 3S battery. Now this, keep in mind, this is a massive battery. So here's a stock battery. So that's the difference in thickness, height, basically. No wider. They're about the same dimensions other than the thickness. It's like about 3 of these stock batteries. But it's a pretty big battery, so when you're running a C10 with that bed, with the bed, you do kind of run into some clearance issues. And the way we worked around that so far, it's not the best idea, but we basically just loosen the body mount some and let the little pin pieces that hold the body mount from doing that, those are not in the little holes they should be. So basically the body mount moves, which it does that sometimes, but we did that so that the battery could fit. So the bed's actually able to move up just a little bit higher, just however high, how much higher it needs to be. So we've got the Lizard Pro. It's got the little Bluetooth piece, as you can see. And under all this rat's nest wiring is the, here, see if I can get a good view, is the slow motion pancake motor by Mofo RC. We got the aluminum motor mount and all together with it. This is I don't have any experience other than this motor with brushless, but just from a video, from watching videos, mostly Cape Crawler, I like this one the most because I like watching it spin. It's just so satisfying to watch it spin. So that's the reason I like that so much. I would definitely like to try some others, like the Nano Beast or the Micro Komodo, or the Komodo by Fury Tech. But this is an awesome motor. Definitely check it out. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description for all these parts. But it's loaded with torque, and it's pretty slow. The gearing in it is a little slow, but when you add this 3S battery, it is supersonic speed. It's really fast, and when you do add that battery, you gotta remember you're adding way more power, and it gets a little more jumpy. So slow crawling isn't as smooth as it usually would be with the 3S, but you can easily swap it back over to 2S if you don't like it. But mostly, this is mostly for a speed standpoint when you add the 3S. But this motor is absolutely loaded with torque and power. So I would love for y'all to check that out. And I'll maybe check out one for my truck in the future. The other thing is, it doesn't have an upgraded gearbox, but it's got drive shafts. Another electronic upgrade is the servo. This is a Reefs 99 servo. I think it's like one of the strongest servos you can get for this truck. And it's pretty fast and very strong. I've yet to bind it up yet. I just can't get it to bind. No matter how hard I try, as much as I drive it, that thing is loaded with power. I think you can run this on 8.4 volts. I am not too sure. I'm sure it's in the description on whatever website you get it from. I think there's a few. But I'm sure it's in the description. And for the servo mount, you might be wondering what I'm using for that, or my brother It's a BSME, so Best Servo Mount Ever by Mofo RC. It's the brass one, because we got it for the Emax servo. He had the Emax on this before, and he was trying to add some more weight up front, so he got a brass servo mount, and this fits. It's got adjustable arms, so those pieces right there are adjustable, which is the piece the servo actually connects to. Those are adjustable for different servos, but when you get this servo mount, make sure that it'll fit your servo. The next thing is portals. So we've got some RC four-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive actually, portal axles, and these, they give you some clearance, but the one thing I don't like about them is the play in them. So that's all the play you're getting in them, and I don't really like that. I struggle with it. I'll go up a rock and then it'll roll because of all the play in it. So I don't really like it, but it is what it is. When you get these portals, you got to remember your motor is spinning one way, but because it's the way the portals are made, so there's two gears. So this drive shaft goes into this portal and it spins one gear, that spins another. So if you have to change the wires, swap the wires on your motor, because if you don't, it'll be reverse. So if I can think of how to show you, so just to show you kind of how the portals work. So let's say there's an axle shaft. So the axle, this is a gear. This is the top gear on the portal. So the axle, this would usually be forward, and then the top gear connects to a bottom gear. So if it spins, usually that would be forward the way this spins. I'm trying to make sense of this, but I'm having a hard time, as you can see. So this one is spinning, it's spinning the other one backwards. So it's spinning this one this way. So that would make it go in reverse instead of forward like it usually should. So you have to connect or reconnect your wires on your motor if you have a brushed motor. Now if you have a brushless motor, you're usually going to have the FuryTech whatever. I don't know of any others other than FuryTech. That's the only electronics I know of right now. If you know of any others, comment down below. But the FuryTech has an app, and you can go on that app and you can actually change your throttle calibration, which that'll fix that. So if you do have brushless, don't worry, you can just change it as long as you know what you're doing. So that's mostly the electronics. If I kind of set it back up just a little bit. Now, we're going to flip this over and show you the undercarriage. So, if I can get a good view, which is going to be hard, we have an Endura brass skid plate. I don't know the weight of any of these brass parts. We have some Mofo boulder bars, and we have some Mofo high clearance brass links. So everything on this just about is brass, from wheels to axles, diff covers, links, boulder bars, the skid plate, the steering links, the servo mount. I mean, everything on this is brass. So it's quite hefty truck. It's really heavy. But there's not really much to go over the links. They definitely weigh it down a lot. One problem is that I can tell you right now that we have with this truck is it's pretty top heavy, so it's kind of lifted. And I think what needs to happen is it needs to be widened So it doesn't have much of a track width. I think if we widen it just a little bit more, then it would be fine. But if we widened it, I think I would try and convince him to go with a more lower center of gravity. So it'd be like that all around. The front would be down too, but as of right now, the bumper mount is actually hitting on the servo, so it won't let it go down. But I kind of get that lower stance just for more LCG, and I think once we do that, it'd be a pretty good rig. It's already great now, and one thing is we've got a I don't know why I said that, a rubber band on the front around the links, if you can see it in there. It's around the links, the top links, and it's around I can't really get a good view, but there's that little frame brace, which that's what I like about these frames, is you can move the frame brace wherever, and you can hook your rubber band to it. This chassis does come with extra frame braces, so you can have your normal frame brace and then one to hold the rubber band, but we need to tighten that rubber band because it's not tight enough. It's letting the springs completely, not springs, but shocks completely droop. So it'll do that on hills and whatnot, and it just likes to flip over. Just loved it. So that was a bit of a review on it, and now you probably want to see the crawling capabilities. So we're going to go out on the mini course and do some crawling, some hill climbing, or attempt to do some hill climbing, and we'll do the spiral. We'll try that. I think it'll do that better than the hill climb, but you're getting ready to see. So here we go. Alright, so I got the truck out here on the course, and as you can see, got the lights in, and they're awesome. They're not giving too much of a glare to the camera. Servo's very quick, as you can see, and it's pretty quiet. I like how quiet it is. That's nice. But we're going to do a bit of a speed test. I don't have another rig out here to kind of compare it, but we'll make do with what we have. So first we're going to start off in high mode. So it's very quick. It's crazy how quick this thing is. Next, we're going to do it in medium. This is more of like a normal speed for RC trucks. So that's like the normal speed. That wasn't full throttle. But that was full throttle. About the normal speed. Slow crawl is better on medium. You're kind of sometimes able to get that good slow crawl, as you see right now, but it does have a bit of a hiccup when trying to slow crawl. The high mode, so now I'm in high mode, me trying to slow crawl in high mode's not the best. So it's got a little bit of a hiccup. Now in low mode, I'm going to try. Really ain't too bad. Well, so far in all the gears, all range mode, whatever you want to call it, it has a little bit of a hiccup going from kind of like a slow crawl to a faster. But that was a little bit of a speed standpoint, and now we're going to do some crawling and some other things. So here we go. So, getting over to the rock course, I've been doing a little bit of modifications, or some, to the course. I've been moving it over. So when I turn and go, it squeaks really loud. I have no clue what that is. I just tried to figure it out, but I couldn't. So we're up on the course, and here we go. having a jumpy truck problem, so I'm gonna put it in medium. And there's that slow crawl. What a beautiful slow crawl. Back up some and reposition. That bit of an angle right here. Having quite a little bit of a hard time. I think I need to reset, get a different angle. And there we go. Got that different angle, was able to get up. Now we're binding up a little bit, I don't know how. These big tires, oh, down we go. Truck's turned around, now we're gonna go the other way. So, going up the course can be quite hard sometimes. There's a ton of walls this thing's kind of got to fight. So as you see there, that wheel's getting under the rock. It's not really what you want. So I'm going to try and just get both wheels up on this rock, maybe. But I don't know. I haven't really tried going backwards. So as you see, the bumper's kind of interfering with this. There we go. Kind of got over to the side some, was able to get up. So there we go. There was a little bit of rock crawling. And now we're gonna do not gonna do this new obstacle, but I'll show you. It's not really much of an obstacle. So what it is right here. So I kind of cut like a V into the ground and put the slate. So this is all slate, and put it, you know, up against the walls of where I cut it. And that's what I got. So I got a little bit of a slate path. And then, so it's where the rock course would usually be. So that right there would usually be right here. So it goes to the hill climb, the rope bridge, and then the spiral. So we're gonna try this, the rope bridge. You'll see in a second why. And the spiral. Alright, so if we come over to the alright, so we're over here at the hill climb, and because this truck's so top heavy, it will not do it. So I've got it in medium, which is like a normal speed for these trucks. As you see, this turbo is really fast. So I'm gonna try and go up it in medium. So it tries, but it just slides over. And then it catches that cinder block. So it won't do it in medium. Now we'll try high. So it's kind of hard to control. I'm sure if you could learn how to control it, then you could get it on up. Oh, that was a close one. I think that's the closest I've ever gotten. So as you can See, it does not want to go up this. So I'll give it one more try, one more good try. No, it's so close. It gets up to right here, and it's too slick up there for it. So now we're gonna move on to the rope bridge. So for here, the rope bridge, I've got you right here in line with where the truck is, and we're gonna try the rope bridge. So usually I don't try the rope bridge, but today I am, because usually it's not really much of an obstacle, but because this truck is so top heavy, it has a really hard time. Trying to, oh, I think we're going on over. I think we might save it. Oh, we're driving off the left side. Gotta be very careful. There we go. So we got over the rope bridge. It's too much of a challenge. It should not be this hard to go over a rope bridge, but there's kinks we gotta work out with this truck, and it could be a beast. So the next thing is we're gonna go up the spiral. Alright, so going up the spiral, we've got these rocks to get up onto the platform. And then usually it can take a pretty hard line up this, but it, like I've said throughout this whole video, it's really top heavy, so it kind of has a hard time. So it's slipping, and I'm trying, oh, there we go. So I can take the wider path, and get up it pretty good. I do have, oh, I tried to save it. So that was a close one. I'm gonna put it in low and try and do a slow crawl. See if those lugs will grab. So we're going to take kind of a wider path, try and slow down when I'm going backwards. So I backed up, got a better position. Oh no, it's trying to flip over, so we'll back up and kind of scoot over to the left some more. Not sure how much room I've got, but oh, nope. And we saved it. We'll try and take a different route, kind of coming closer. And kind of go. So far, I think that's the better option. Nope. Oh man. Well, I'll try one more time, see if we can get it. Kind of got a plan here. I'm gonna go out a little more. It's getting a little dark, as you can see. Those lights are working. I'm not gonna try and go straight up it. I'm gonna try and go straight towards the wall and kind of miss the gap. Well, guess it's not really working. That was a close one. We're doing wheelies now. I think I'll try. And we saved it. Okie dokie. So we can't get up the spiral. Sometimes, just sometimes, I can get it up. It just depends on the day, I guess. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just one of those things. So it does pretty good on crawling. And it tries the hill climb. The rope bridge, it does. It struggles. I feel like that's more of like a driver's skill. feel like most trucks will go over that. It's just how skilled the driver is. But the spiral, it just doesn't want to do it. Sucks, but you know, it happens. Things have to be worked out. But now I'm going to talk about it a little more. Don't have much to talk about, but here we go. So now you can really see those lights work. But back on to talking to this about the rig. I think I'm going to see if we can get it a little lower so it's not such a high center of gravity. Then we'll probably tighten that rubber band, loosen these rear shocks because it's kind of lifted up a little bit sometimes, so drop it down. Sometimes it'll be lifted up. But we might loosen those a little bit. I don't know. I'll see. Do a little bit more running. We are running aluminum rings in the rear of these B-blocks, I think. I'm not too sure, but I think we are. I'll have to check and see. If not, then I'll definitely put some in it. But, I mean, it's a pretty good truck. It's maximized in upgrades. I don't know if he can get any more upgrades for it. You can always get more upgrades, but you know. So if you open it up, everything seems to look good. The one thing we have with the slow motion is the wires tend to rub on it. So that sucks. You can really mess up a wire that way. But you know, just some clearance. Maybe I can convince him to trim these corners down just a little, not much. Definitely on the front, you know, keep that kind of keep the flow of the body lines with it. But we really have a problem with the lugs hitting and pulling the body out like that. So we might be losing a little performance power that way because it's more stress on the motor. And also we could in a way lose traction. But so far it's going pretty good. Like I said, plenty of tuning. We need a rubber band in the back around the links and on that frame brace, and then just kind of clean up the wiring. Maybe see if we can get the plastic clear pieces in these lights to hold them in like they're supposed to be. So yeah, that's about all I have for talking about this truck. If you have any ideas, by all means comment down below and I'll recommend them to my brother and we'll look into them. But other than that, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe so you can see more updates on this truck. I'll try to keep y'all updated on it, but we kind of move fast with it. But like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates, and I'll see you guys later.